Welcome back, guys, to the Bear Podcast Show with me, Sean Scullion, aka the Handsome Stranger, Owen Mallon, aka the Bear, Aidan, the face for radio behind the scenes, and today our guest is Ryan Mercer. How you doing, some Nick?
Hi, well, thanks very much. I've been the summer. Ryan. So, as I said, Sean, thanks very much. I've been working out. Summer's coming round. Been getting ready.
Have you been eating pizzas as well for a month?
I don't. We're going to get round. We're going to get round to that, Ryan. But I have a couple of disagreements I'm going to have with you because I've been living that diet and it ain't been working. Hey, Ryan, thanks very much for coming.
Yeah, no worries.
And
good to be here.
Jump in and let us know who is Ryan.
So I'm a personal trainer, online coach from Bangor, Northern Ireland. You can tell by the accent, I'm sure. So basically, I help people get in shape. I specialise in getting guys shredded. I one-to-one PT in Bangor, and I have a lot of international clients. So I work with people in America, Australia, Dubai, long list of places.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it? But
it's nice to have that balance actually between the two. It's interesting getting chatting to people from different parts of the world. And
I appreciate the fact that you obviously didn't Google our show before you come on, Ryan, because one of our shows was called PTs or Fucktards.
And why did you come up with this assumption?
Because I always said some of them were like, Ben Stiller out of the dodgeball. We're better than you, and we know we are.
But some cowboys out there.
Crazy industry you're in. But Ryan, we're saying there now, and I was joking at it, but having the online capability now to raise the level of, when you're in the gym, there's if you take an hour slot, 40, 50 hours, whatever it is. Yeah. But when you're online and you're obviously built your portfolio up and you're getting, but I was checking, I'll go back into that. You deal with people that are fit, but you're just that last percentage, you're getting them shredded and getting them.
Well,
or do you take them from me?
And make them into me.
Take them from what to me and into some of me.
So it is all different. I would get people just wanting to generally improve health and they're starting from the ground up, building foundations. And then you would also get the people that have trained for a while and they're at sticking points and, they just need that extra help. I think what a lot of people like is, having the information so they can be more flexible, because, a lot of people come to me and they're like, the only way they think they can get lean is by eating chicken and rice or turkey and rice or whatever. And, that's what you find. Probably the majority of people see that I don't use a restrictive approach. You don't have to use a restrictive approach, but they don't know how to do that and implement that properly. So so it is just people.
But there has to still be some sort of health, healthy basis on it, as in eating healthy food. Like, it's not like we're talking about pizzas.
Yeah. Sean, I have this man here to find out how I can continue the diet and get it shredded.
So, it's not going to Domino's 3 times a day.
Exactly. So generally what people do when they hear pizza or burgers, they will categorize that food as unhealthy just by the name. But if you sit back and you can create healthy pizzas, you can create healthy burgers. And a lot of people don't understand that. Even with the likes of a pizza, what is it? Bread, tomato, cheese, chicken, vegetables. If you break that all down, what's unhealthy about it?
But we're talking alternatives, aren't we? You're substituting, like it's a pizza, but it's as Sean said, it's not you're taking say a certain type of cheese and you replace that with a different type, or would use a different type of dough. It's not when you said pizza, because this was when we were sitting down and we like to be knowledgeable when people come on. And Ryan done this challenge. We'll actually, Ryan, explain the challenge you done, and then we'll get into that.
Yeah. So basically, in January, I ate pizza for all my main meals for 30 days, and the goal was to get leaner.
Pizza.
That was it. It was great. Absolutely.
Everyone
loved it.
come into the new year going, you know what, I'm giving up pizza, and this man was like, I'm going on pizza.
And that's why I done it, because that's the first thing people do. They start, all right, pizza, I'm cutting that out. I'm cutting chocolate out. They cut out all their favorite foods. So I thought, do you know what? For a month, I'm just going to eat my favorite food and show people that they don't have to be restrictive and they don't have to cut foods out. You know, it's all about balance. It's all about eating in moderation, and that's the gist of it.
And then you done the 30 days, right?
I've done the 30 days, yeah.
And what way did that go? We're going to show pictures because I actually see it. This is
Yeah.
impressive. We're going to show some of the.
So-
this is where Aidan comes in, and then we'll show.
And they'll show them. I was looking over there.
When's he going to put these in?
You'll know
So I lost 7.5 pounds in total, so just over half a stone.
You lost weight.
Yeah.
Shit. Did you go real hard in December, getting a rip, and and say, right, you know what, in January, and then it just happened?
Okay.
Or what type of pizza? So let's just talk it through. You've obviously cooked these yourself. They're not.
Yeah.
they're
Oh
not-
yeah. I actually cooked all the pizzas myself. So I would have had 3 pizzas a day. 2 of the pizzas would have been tortilla-based pizzas or pita-based pizzas. So generally, the base would make it lower calorie, and then I monitored obviously the amount of cheese, etc. I was putting in, and then I would have had one standard 10-inch pizza. So I bought, just for handiness, I would have bought just pre-made dough, and that would have been the more calorie-dense option. But again, I would have limited the amount of calories by monitoring the amount of cheese, etc. I was putting in. So.
Did you see any effect in your energy levels or how you felt because you were just eating this one? Was it getting tough towards the end?
Not at all. You know, in regards to energy levels, I was 100%. You know, I actually made the diet supported my health as well, because the pizzas were nutrient dense. I was having side salads with the pizza, so I was ticking all the boxes that I needed to. So energy was good. I felt good, you know, even the likes of variety, you know, I made sure to switch up the pizzas so I wasn't getting sick of eating the same old thing. So
that now it's class, but it just does show you. But I'm going to ask you this: when you sacrifice when you go the better option now, and we know this, you sacrifice flavor, like, don't you? Let's be honest.
I disagree. I disagree.
Come on, unless it's dripping down your chin. No, I'm joking. I was going to go with it, but I get what you're saying, and not always, because I have seen some of them. You're like, if you're home cooking or you're doing this here, you know, you make some nice meals. Definitely some nice meals. I made some curries up when we were back training, stuff like that. But generally, if you're going the leaner option, you know, you're getting rid of some of the flavour.
But then, you know, you can still make it.
But it's discipline. And this is the thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can still make the food enjoyable. You know, and it's still nice to obviously have the likes of takeaways, etc. But again, it's just eating in moderation.
Do you have to be more imaginative or more like, not, it's just, you know what? And this is it. It's just that here is the way things are set up. It's harder when you're going looking at them ingredients. It's harder when you're here. It's this country, the balance there. We were away in Australia for a while there, and I remember going into one of the shop malls, and you went down, and there were so many healthy options fast. You know, not fast food, but so many in the food court.
Yeah.
You had so many options. You had the ones were doing the fresh fruit, and you're at natural yogurt. You know, that all these other options instead of just if you here, you go Subway, Burger King, or thing. Were there. It was their lifestyle, and you could see it. You know, the way the shape some of them were in, but you were like. Here, if you were going into
better environment, yeah.
If you were going into Asda now, trying to get some of them cheeses, alternative cheeses, or alternative, it's hard. It's hard to work. You have to have not a better imagination, but you nearly need to plan more, because if you went in to just lift something, you know it's going to be calorie dense.
Yeah. Oh, big time. You know, and with fat loss, it is about exploring and using your head and finding new things. Like even now, I've done this for years, and I would still find new things and new recipes, and you know, it can actually be fun. You know, I enjoy, you know, jumping on the likes of a fat loss phase, because you're restricting calories a wee bit. I think food just generally tastes better, and then number 2, you know, you can go and you can try this recipe, you can try this, you can try that, and it does make it is fun when you get into it.
But then on the flip side of that is like social media is scary at times. You know, some of the information that you do get.
Oh, it's madness.
Whenever I heard of pizzas, all I took was that snippet. I was like, how can you eat pizzas for 30 days in a row and have that physique?
Yeah.
So it's about eating the right type of stuff, which you did. It wasn't like in my head going to the fast food pizza store and getting that. And what I'll bring up is Liver King. The time that he put out that he was eating only raw meat and he was ripped to shit. And then I was like, how are you fit to do this? You eating anything else? No, that's it.
Raw roids.
But you know what I mean though? Like young people are on social media and they're so conscious about their appearance.
Yeah.
So if they're going, this is what I need to do. I need to go and I need to do exactly what this person's doing.
Oh yeah.
But it's not for everybody though.
No.
You have to put in the training. You have to be eating the right food and you're putting the right stuff into your body to get like that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, so in regard, 100%. You know, in regards to fat loss, you know, you need to create a deficit, but there's a lot of other factors. You know, even for example, you know, if I was to eat a takeaway pizza, with the same calorie content, I would have got the same result, but I maybe would have had one pizza. Where on the other side, I was able to eat 4 or 3 pizzas plus snacks.
Yeah.
You know, so it's about food volume as well, and you know. So if anyone went out and thought, I could just take
but you know what? We will 100% clickbait the fuck out of this and put it up. I had nothing but pizzas for a month and I lost 7.5 pounds. People will be like, I need to know the cheat. I need to know it. But let's be realistic. And I have had my problems getting back in the training show. I have went through a few PTs.
I seen a pizza box in your bin this morning.
But Danielle woman loves pizza. Anyway, let's not get away from the main ingredient. And I always say this here, and people talk about this. It's discipline. You need to discipline yourself. You know, and that's what I lack when is the discipline. And I laugh one time. Maybe it was Joe Rogan I was listening to, and he was like, people all talk about motivation. And he's like, fuck motivation. He says, I'm motivated about 2 of the workouts a week, but my discipline makes me do the other 5 or whatever it is. He says, I keep the routine and I keep it right. Food's very much the same. And I would say if people go on diet and they don't know the hardest part is any PT can bring people to work out, and a lot of them are shite PTs because they think if they get them to squat 100 times in a row till they're burning tomorrow, that's great. And these people be like, I'm so sore, and they think this is a great idea. But the education around nutrition so that they don't go away and puke themselves with sweet potato and or rice and chicken, and it's just a raw chicken, and they think that's all they're going to eat. I think for me, if it's prep, if you have time and you're prepping and you're doing that there, if you were coming with all alternatives to people, saying to them, look, you obviously it isn't a Domino's. Obviously, you haven't just went out and got this, but you can have a pizza, or you can make yourself this lean curry. You can, but there's options. There's things you can do there, but to maintain the level of discipline, you know, through that. But
even in that challenge, you went from the pizzas then into doing your burgers.
Yeah, because the pizza one was planned now for quite a while. It was planned. I think I was actually going to do it last June or whatever, and then I kind of just left it for a while, and then I thought, right, January it's happening. But then when I was halfway through, I thought, you know, the job's not going to be done by the end of January, and I thought, you know what, it'd be really cool if I just got lean eating pizzas and burgers. And then there was the pasta one after that, the 21-day pasta one. So
is pasta not hard?
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't enjoy that one because, you know, lower calorie pizzas taste great. Lower calorie burgers taste great, but see with the pasta, it wasn't the greatest. You know, I found out it was
pasta's bland at the best.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, big time.
A nice pasta dish is full of cream. You know, it's so hard till they're very staunchy, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, like and that's the ones like I like the high calorie pasta. You know, you can't supplement that.
Is that you done with the challenges now?
Well, I'm actually.
No, he's definitely going again.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually doing one at the minute. So I went to after the pizza, burger, pasta. I went to Thailand for a few weeks, so put on about 5 pounds. And then I'm just using a flexible approach at the minute. So tomorrow is the last day of the deficit, and then that's me. That one's done as well. So.
What is it? A
flexible diet is this is the way I would normally do it. So it's basically any food goes. Now, when I say that, there's also sub targets. So, I'd have a protein target, I'd have a fruit and veg target, etc. So that would possibly leave a little bit of room, maybe 10 to 20% per day of what I could use on whatever. So that's generally the approach that I would recommend for anyone wanting to lose fat, because you eat 80% of the good foods, make them taste good, and then you've got the 20% there to use at your disposal on discretionary calories. So, if you like chocolate, have a bit of chocolate or whatever floats your boat.
And what's your normal training day / week? What would you train 5 days a week, 6 days a week?
So I would train 6 days a week. So even, a lot of people were like, giving me in the comments section of the pizza and the burger, oh, this guy's flat out training and all, but I already trained 6 days a week. So
that's what I was going to say. It wouldn't have been any different.
Yeah, so it was 100% intervention from the nutrition. Yeah. Now, I also increased my steps as well. That's something that,
well, it'll be a shit challenge, because actually it'll be every bit as impressive as if you've done the same and you maintain the same. But people, because you train a lot before that, your body would have become into that sort of, state where that was your weight then. So if you went till the pizzas and you were still hitting your calorie goals and training, it would have still been the same. So you obviously had to slightly increase, because you at the end you want the clickbait too. You want to turn around and say, look, this challenge shows just by increasing this maybe 2,000 extra steps, I've lost this. But it's funny that people jump on the comments, because I'd have been equally impressed and says, well, you maintained your same weight while doing the same thing.
Yeah.
While eating pizza. There's the challenge itself, where people think you put this on. But I laugh when he goes, I went to Thailand, put on 5 pounds. I'd have put that on the flight.
Do you know what, though? I ended up getting sick out there, so I think that
you didn't get that.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Oh, no, that's Bali.
Was it Bangkok belly or something?
It's the water and all. And fucking...
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually got sick twice. So... And it was my own fault the second time, because I was buying a watermelon and the girl said, do you want me to cut it? And I was like, yeah, cut it. And then I'm looking, she has this machete just chopping away at it, and I'm like, and just swirling it around this bucket of water, and I'm thinking, I should not eat this. And then obviously you get back to the room and then you're just like, I'll have a bit of it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Not good.
No. And some of them places, hey, it's you watch, but don't take ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. There's that much though, if you actually implemented every kind of hygiene strategy, you'd be starving. You'd be eating chocolate bars.
But how long were you out in Thailand for?
It was 20 days.
Oh, brilliant. Was that any part of you weren't training out, or it was just a break?
I did plan the train out there, but it wasn't really set up for fitness. I like getting in early in training. I wouldn't like to take actually time out of my vacation holiday, whatever you want to call it. But the gyms didn't open till maybe 8 in the morning. They weren't well equipped. I think it's one of those ones where the hotel just has a couple of dumbbells, so they say, "Oh yeah, we've got a gym."
Yeah,
one of those ones.
Where do you train out of then?
Just Pure Gym in Bangor, yeah.
And do you split your calendar? Do you take 1-to-1s, or do you do an online, or?
Yeah, so a mixture of both. So 1-to-1s, and then just I fit in the online around it. So the thing is, with the online, you've got different time zones, etc. So generally the Americans, you would be sitting down in the evening to sort those guys out, and then the Australians are my favourite, because I would generally get up early then at 5, I think it's 13 hours ahead or something, so about 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, I can get a wee couple of consultations out of the way, and then that's me ready to start the day.
Well, hey, I have a question to ask you. What's the crack with these boys running around gyms with the Under Armour tight?
He does it.
100%. Do you know the tight Under Armour? You're meant to wear a pair of shorts.
Oh yeah.
Well, these boys in the gym walking about, and all you can see is the crotch area.
You said that to me the other day, and I was like,
why are the there's some weird ones as well, and then there's the one that always gets me is, do you ever see the bodybuilders with the bags like they're going to an airport? What could you possibly have in that size of bag? Why are you carrying that around the gym?
No. There's a few, right? Aiden's one of these stereotypical white tube sock, high thing, ankles out job in the depths of winter. That goes to the gym with the lanyard hanging down, just to let you know that I have a bunch of keys, But The best one is, do you ever see the ones that rip the fuck and they have this muscle top, like a gold gym muscle top, and you're like, there's nothing there. Just go in with no top on.
Just like a wee string, isn't it? Yeah.
But I'm honestly curious. I'm like, why? Why
did
are they,
say that to me the
why
other
are they
day.
wearing
That's not right.
Yeah.
in training?
Yeah, it's shocking.
So it's just
Personal
for
preference.
people that's watching, like skins, like
Skins.
the underlayer,
Women's leggings.
and they're
Yeah.
I'm going to call them women's
fake
leggings.
tan.
and they're wearing them.
Yep.
In there.
No shorts needed.
No.
Yeah.
Just leggings.
Gyms can be strange places.
Oh, 100. Hey, this is listen. Me and Pete, I took in the PT. I took in the PTs and gurus and all this here before, so I'll not go over ground again. But it is a strange place. But tell me this: it's all changing now. Like we had Ryan Quinn on, and I was telling him about it's racked with steroids, and I don't mean racked. My view of it is like, and I've publicly said it. I took when I was back playing rugby, I took anabolic steroids, I took tests, took train, and I seen the benefits of power. Like, I'm not talking physique, I'm talking about power. Like, instantly 6 weeks later, you were, if you maxed out, say you were at 130 kilo bench and you couldn't go past it, and you were just sitting on, boom, next thing 155. Like, I mean, it just was ridiculous.
And what was it you were?
But test and train or whatever.
Oh, you were on it, right?
Oh, aye.
You flat out, right?
Back in the day, boys.
Sure.
He was a machine.
Sure, it's funny. They'd done a study years ago, and they got a group of American football players, and they brought them in. They says, right, boys, we're giving you steroids. And they were all buzzing, right? Yes, great. And then they got them to go out and test all their max bench presses and squats, etc. These boys were smashing PBs, right? So they only got placebos. So they brought them in.
Shit.
They brought them in after, and then said to them, "Look, we've been giving you a placebo," and not one of them could get anywhere near what they were lifting when they thought they were on steroids.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah. So
Well,
You weren't on the placebo though, were you?
no, I was just fully on. I cycled up. I remember we were playing whatever way it was. I went to hand somebody off, and I was like, that just happened. Like, it wasn't that they're PEDs, they're performance enhancing drugs. So, like, yes, if you put in I laugh at people saying this here. They were taking even swipes at Liver King and all. Only problem I'd have with Liver King was telling a lie.
Oh yeah,
Selling the lie. That man is not that shape and not that size. You take The Rock, 100% he's on steroids. You can't not be 50 years of age and get bigger and bigger and leaner and leaner. So, but the work required, people think, this is an easy, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, the work and dedication, the diet, and the they go in with that is mental. Like, you're undermining, like, when people just take this swipe, the people aren't aware of training and thing, they take the swipe and say, they're on steroids. And I was like, well, steroids is the last 10-20% of their power and whatever that might help them look better. But
yeah, you have to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was saying is all these women now, it's not surprising that men are doing it. Men test the benefits of having tests in your body, especially now. I'm nearly 40 years of age. You might not know this, some might think I'm 50.
He was saying only.
But you're naturally dropping off your test. But the benefits of having a higher test, if you're in America and you go to the doctor with depression, they'll prescribe tests. To lift your thing.
I'll sort you out.
So, like, well, the wife might be a bit busier, but but what I'm saying is the amount of women now, and you can see it nearly like the muscle belly and all. Like, you can, it's
nuts.
It's mental. Like, I could see men back in the day. I remember actually me and you trained in a hardcore gym, like, and it was hardcore. You come in, it was fucking freezing cold. Everything was welded to make sure there was boys putting the dumbbells into the cables because they couldn't get enough weight. Like, they were all just machines, and they were just openly talking. There was no back doors about it. There was no women training there. And next thing I'm saying to these ones now, it's mental. Like, it is mental, and they're killers. Like, you see the training they're doing, squatting, and like, they're not just doing it now. They're not going in for the Barbie doll look. These girls want to get strong. Like,
yeah,
they're like, I see some of the, especially them ones doing CrossFit and stuff. It's fucking mad. Like, but like,
time. I know there's some women walking about the gym twice
But
the
you're
size
the
of me. Yeah.
Aye.
but like, this is what I've said. You're a PT, and you're giving advice on nutrition on that there, where do you stand? Where do you draw? Like, how do you know what I mean? Like, if you're like, no, I'm anti this or I'm anti that, right? Do they move on to somebody that's going to better coach them in that because they're at that? And I know this, nobody wants to talk about this. It's fine, Ryan, if you don't want to. But what I'm saying, I was asking this here in a general question to one the other day. Women are obviously now going and taking peds and they're in the gym and all now. But like, what do you do? What do you say there? Like, if one of your clients come to you and says, right, I'm on this or I'm on that, and you're like, I can't help you, or like, you know, I can give you good nutrition or things. Like, where do you go or do you work?
So it would, you know, ultimately, like, I would never advise anyone on that. I would never advise anyone to do it. If someone came to me and were insistent, listen, this is what I'm on, it's their choice. You know, I would help them in other avenues. You know, it's not really for me to say. I could possibly advise against it, but if they were intent on, listen, I'm taking this to increase my performance or whatever, physique, then, you know, I would just do the same job, support them with their training, support them with their nutrition.
Well, I know it's a ropey one. I didn't want to pin you down that, and I wasn't, because it's still so taboo. Like,
I know why.
and that's something that we're so far behind. UK and Ireland, we're so far behind that the conversations. There's hormone doctors and everything in America, and they're advising and they're giving things. We're so far behind that, and we're so like cloak and dagger, that it was just something I was like, Ryan's here, and nutrition, you're trying different things, and I was just like, you'll obviously see it firsthand. You know it. You know the human anatomy intimately. You've studied it. That's what you do. You've studied it. So if somebody walks past you and they have a big body back and they blew up over the thing, like, that's what I'm saying. It's not a hidden thing. It's not a, but it's just something that nobody ever wants to discuss or say. But you're doing, if you're spicing these up, what, Ryan, would you lead to like a book of your own recipes, or like things that you're doing, you know, that's different, that's outside the box, to show people, look, listen, you don't need to just be going off and doing this?
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's in the process. You know, I would, you know, recipe books will definitely be coming out down the line. I make a lot of videos. I make a lot of example meal plans, etc., just to show people, you know, how much food they can fit in for certain calorie amounts. You know, I'm always trying new things myself, which I stick the recipes online. But yeah, you know, definitely share them with people, and yeah, hopefully it does give people more ideas.
Because I see, you know, your man's doing the air fryer and all now, and he's gone really, what do you call it?
It's a border lunch, yeah.
Like lockdown, just, you know, and the beauty of lockdown was people were willing to cook more.
Yeah.
Like they were all willing to try now, because you're plenty of time. So you're at home and the people were all trying these different things, these fans. I made some bollocks of some, but is that something you could see you doing, providing like a meal book or for one's alternatives to?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the advantage with me is I'm a lazy cook. So I don't like these, you know, flip 10, 12 different spices. You know, I just keep it simple. So I definitely think there probably is a gap in the market for that, because, you know, most of these recipes and recipe books that comes out, you know, people will just look at them and never use them. Whereas, see the amount of people have got in contact with me, you know, oh, I've been trying your burgers, or I've been trying these pizzas, you know, because it's simply just a handful of ingredients. That's it. There's no real major thought process to it. So, because as you say, you know, people had a lot of time during lockdown, whereas in real life, you know, it's probably not that sustainable to be cooking up a store.
I do think there will be an avenue there, like, because I was the reason I said that is like I could have made that pizza like that you'd made. I could have made that, and I was handy enough. But do you ever get the ones and you look through the ingredients, you're like, fuck, I'm not going trips around that there, and it's going to cost you £35 to make this meal, because you're buying cinnamon ground and basil, stuff that you wouldn't normally have. Like, you know, you don't have a herb counter, and you're going to go out and buy these once to make this one dish. It's not really
just sit in the back of the cupboard and fill it clear out.
That's why I was saying that to you. I always thought an alternative like that for like a quick book, you know, like the 30-second or 30-minute dinner, but something that was an alternative. So like this week it's an alternative to a Big Mac. This next week it's an alternative to a pizza stuffed crust or whatever, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was always alternatives that was handy. I think there'd be, hey, I'm in the marketing.
Yeah,
you'll sample.
You could be the first man.
He'll sample them for you.
Yeah.
That'll be the best advertisement you get. But I think it would. I definitely think it would. It like seeing what the pizzas and you replacing them I actually was like, did this man just go and get a load of pizzas and do this? But seeing that, the alternative market, I think it would be massive.
Yeah, definitely. I know. And that's what people want to see these days. And to be honest with you, that's what makes it more sustainable. Eating foods that you enjoy. We already kind of touched on that anyway, but not eating that bland chicken and rice. Because I've been through that before years ago. Used to dry out chicken in the oven and broccoli and bland rice, and you're just shoveling it into you. And then, one, if it's probably not going to be sustainable. Two, if you actually made it, whatever, say you planned an 8-week phase and you get that goal, then you've nowhere to go, because you're not just going to continue eating chicken and rice, and that's what kind of people do. So it definitely, having the knowledge to create the alternatives, etc., sets you up for sustainability.
It's funny you saying that, and I done the exact same as that. It was the rice and the chicken, the sweet potato, no sauce.
Yeah,
just going through the motions every
food.
day. Aye. Get up in the morning, your protein shake and rice, chicken, veg. That was it.
That's
Salmon,
awful.
fish. Aye. Mm-hmm.
I remember years ago I tried a chicken breast diet. This is when I was in my early 20s, and you're sitting just eating bland or dry chicken breasts constantly, and I think it maybe lasted 2 days before I was hitting vending machines and work. And
do you ever go off the rails? Just fucking
yeah, 100%. Especially when I came back from Thailand, I think with being sick and maybe not eating as much, when I came back, I had a couple of big days, probably about 5,000 calories a day, but it is what it is. You don't ruin anything in the space of a couple of days. Now, if I sat and done that for a month, I would have had a problem, but that's just the way it goes. I don't feel guilty about it. I don't even think about it. I would just think more about, right, I'm ready to get back on it again. But those types of days are normal. There will be some days where I'll just say, nah, do you know what? I'm just eating whatever.
What about alcohol?
So I used to drink a bit more. And do you know what? The hangovers just got too bad. So I don't drink as much now. Now I would have the occasional one, but I wouldn't be a big drinker anymore.
I always found, and I'd seen this around some of the especially some of the rugby men, or say, not in our team, because our team is a social team, but say if you had some of the players around the Ulster team or something, and they were like, if you're eating clean, or even any of these athlete teams that they go and drink bans, and you see this happening. So they're training for a cup or a championship or whatever it is, and they're off the drink, and they're all training away. They're taking all the right stuff, all the right supplements, so they have the body running really well, and then they decide to go on the drink. And you want to see the carnage, because they're not drinking. Their body's now, like, it is a poison. They're not drinking, they're not used to it. Well, fuck the way their men's heads go, like they just behave bad. But you'll see, people will be listening, like, and they'll be like, oh, our local football team or our local GAA team, they've done that, and then they've went out and racked the place. Because it's just, if you're so long from it and then you go on it, even the way how drunk they get, but how they behave, it just has all the knock-on consequences. But then after that, I'd say, like, a hangover's an evil thing. Like, you wouldn't be craving a banana, like, the next morning. You just crave the shite, like.
But even saying about going off the rails with food, I find my diet's pretty structured. We cook every day. We wouldn't take takeouts that often, but see, as you're saying, going off the rails, see them, a takeout, maybe a couple of days in a row, my body feels awful. Like, I feel like crap. And I haven't done nothing, I haven't went on a binge eating of whatever it is. Your body doesn't feel right, because it's just out of sync with what you're used to eating. It's
the law, though. You have to wait till Monday.
That's it.
That's the law.
Starts on Monday.
You get an hour one on Sunday and just wrap her up on the Monday. And it was bank holiday Monday. The week is fucked.
That's it done.
But not to bring in the reset, but the reset. If you're there and you're going off, you're spiraling off, what would your advice say to somebody? You don't wait till Monday. Just
get on with it the next day. Forget about it, and that's it. I think a lot of people kind of just think, oh, it's over, it's done. But see, if you understand calorie balance, say for example someone was maintaining weight at 2,000 calories, for them to put on a pound in a day, they would have to eat 5,500 calories, which isn't probably that likely that they're going to do that. So you can inflict minimal damage in a day, but so you just get on with it the next day and forget about it, don't worry about it. It is what it is. It happens. Perfection doesn't exist.
Have you any handy tips for somebody there that was listening and saying, look, listen, they wouldn't be great in nutrition, but they would just any management tips, to keep themselves right?
Just even, leave room for the foods that they really enjoy, maybe the likes of the discretionary calories, biscuits, chocolate, whatever, but try to eat 80% sort of whole foods, experiment with recipes, do a bit of research, and it just makes life easier. And I think as well, mentally, knowing that you can have any food anytime, it just, you'll want it less. It's like, say if I told you, right, like, what's your favorite food?
Indian.
Yeah, so say I said to you, right, you cannot have an Indian for the next month. You're going to want it 10 times more.
Jesus, I'm going to have a tikka masala there. No,
but you'd want it 10 times more.
No, yeah.
Whereas if you have it in your head, I could have it if I really wanted to, if I really felt like it.
It's funny. Food is a funny thing. The relationship around food and the relationship people have with it, and the idea of people saying, oh, that's a cheat meal. And, you're saying that you're cheating, or you're saying that you're thing, but you can't reinvent the wheel either. We've said this before. You're getting back to it. If you have a balanced lifestyle, if you want to go that extra bit, you're obviously ripped up. You want to go that extra percent, you obviously need to be much more. But if you want to be a fit and healthy individual, if you had a good balance in your life, it's not massive rocket science. If you're you're eating well and doing a bit, you should be better off. It's not like, I have always, my mother-in-law is the best crack I ever seen. Right? She would go to me, she would see somebody or someone that's like lost a weight, and she goes, what they do?
What's the secret?
What would they do? And I was like, they probably got up and done something and that a bit less. It doesn't change. And we have people on now, and you have PTs and you have nutritionists and you have all these different ones, and they're trying to reinvent the wheel and they're throwing all this jargon. But I always come back to it and say, if you do more and eat less,
yeah, that's it.
It's gonna, and we had a PT try to tell me different. But if you do a bit more and you eat a bit less in a balanced lifestyle, you'll have a bit. But what is the next big task? And you definitely have something planned, we would say, you have up the sleeve.
Well, next up, I'm thinking about possibly doing the carnivore for, now I was thinking 30 days, and then I came to the conclusion it's restrictive. Then that's like 21 days. But then again, thought, you know what? I don't think I could do it for 21 days because it's restrictive. I wouldn't recommend anyone doing it.
Solely meat, like it's
yeah, solely meat. So, and eggs, things as well. So I'm definitely going to do a 14-day one. But for anyone, I get a lot of people that actually ask me about the carnivore diet. Should I do it? Should I do it? And if that was right, for example, if their goal was fat loss, if they thought that was right for them, but I don't think it would be for anyone because it's extremely restrictive. But see, if people want to try these diets, what they'd be better doing is having a carnivore day. Friday's a carnivore day, yeah. Or you have 2 carnivore days a week. That's the strategy to use. And
class.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I'm going to eat steak and I'm going to eat thing. But red meat's very hard digested. You had a steak in the morning, you'd have a hard push to try and have one later on that day, or you
get sick of it.
So it will be hard. Was Joe Rogan done it too, wasn't it? But he says he got massive health benefits from it.
Then they all say that, I've never felt better.
But is that because they've done it and now they're buzzing on our side? Your memory placebo, and the reality of what it is completely different. Would you have to take any supplements while you're on that, like oils or?
Yeah, general multivitamins you would need. There's definitely going to be gaps there. It wouldn't be optimal for health.
Aye.
You're missing out on quite a few bits and pieces.
I will have to. Right, do it. We'll be staying tuned. We'll be sharing that. Yeah. That'll be good crack. But it obviously it's a very, very heavily competitive market, the PT industry, and like there's so many people think because they're good trainers or they're in good shape they can go on to be a good PT. It's not hand in hand. Being good at something doesn't mean you're good at instructing on how to do it. But this is obviously a niche thing that has helped you grow your following. It's you've been in the paper and you've talked about it and you've seen the interaction with it. So it's obviously something that's good for your business.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's went nuts. Like I was on the TV in India, the Drew Barrymore show. They talked about it on the Drew Barrymore show. It's been all over the place. So yeah, it's
it's on the Drew bar.
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, our research hasn't gone as deep as we thought.
Yeah.
But like that, and we're sitting here and we're talking about, but like you'll have 50 other PTs now that'll hear and be off now with their days because like it's so funny. You will see somebody come up with something original and then you will see 10 replicate.
Oh yeah, of course.
But you've obviously got this niche now where it's enjoyable because it actually helps too. It will help people. People will be like, Jesus, you know what? Actually, you're right. There's something else to do. There are options. But it's helping. It's helping you, your brand, your business. It's helping get you out there.
Yeah, 100%. You know, yeah, it definitely is. And you know, I didn't think it was going to blow up as big. I thought that more people would have kind of been watching the journey and learned from the journey. But you know, it just exploded when the actual transformations came through because you get people, they're confused about everything. You know, some people don't understand the calories in versus calories out. Other people can't understand that a pizza could actually be a well-balanced, nutrient-dense meal. So, yeah, there's a lot of confused people out there when it does come to nutrition. But again, a lot of that's down to social media and then their next-door neighbour telling them, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, or, here, that's bad for your liver, bye. You know, it's like...
That's what they'll be telling you when you're in the carnivore, but that's what I'm saying. You can't leave it at that now. If it's working and it's helping you and it's getting you worldwide clients, then there's new challenges. I just can't wait to see they get crazier and crazier.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's a bit of crack. Like, you know, I enjoy it myself. You know, see, even just the pizzas for the month was great.
You'll have to do one of these challenges.
Yeah.
I need to start training. That'll be the biggest challenge. That's fucking own. I'm sure.
It's not the food, it's getting training.
It's the training. Jesus Christ, man! But it is. But it's good, and it's giving you something to talk about. But there's so many options. I'd say then when you're sitting there, and you're like, Jesus, you know, I could do only a fish-based one, or see, like there's the endless ones, but don't do a vegan one.
No,
do not go there. Like
no. Do you know what? It was actually my videographer had said to me about, oh, you should do the vegan one, because we were talking about the carnivore and the vegan and stuff, and I was like, not a chance, not happening.
No, I'm not.
Do you know what it is about vegans? You know, they'll portray that it's the healthiest diet you can have or whatever. But have you ever heard of blue zones?
No.
So they're locations on the earth where people live the longest, and you know, they all, like, one's Osaka in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, and all these people live the longest and they're the healthiest populations technically. Not one of them are vegetarian or vegan.
Yeah.
So it just shows you, you know, you look at populations, you don't look at what, you know,
well,
Tom's saying down the street.
I look, listen, and I said this too about that, and that is fine, it's each their own, but this is going to sound bad. There's going to be so many vegans going. But how do you tell if somebody's a vegan? Don't worry, they'll fucking tell you. Yeah. it's the passionate. It's the passionate. If you're a vegan for you, and you're happy enough in you, but do not judge me with your judgy eyes while I'm tucking into my fillet steak. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm going to move, and I'm going to tell this woman next week about this, because I'm going to be like, look, listen, I am a red-blooded male. I enjoy red meat. You know, I get what you're doing.
Should get a spread out there, you know, some barbecue.
Hey, we had Ryan up last week. Do you want one of his burgers? No,
I'll come up and make the burgers.
I'm nearly being facetious there. That's so many people. Maybe they have that dietary requirement, but it's this replacing things, replacing a sausage roll with it. If you don't like sausage, don't fucking replace it with something else. If you don't like you can get like the burgers now, a vegan burger. I was like, but what you know, if you don't like a burger, don't go and make another one up or replace it. That's why I said don't do the vegan one. I'll not watch it. But I'm looking forward to that, Ryan. And is there any other challenges? Well, hey, we've touched all on your nutrition, but you know, what sort of training, or what is the training you like, or is it, you know?
So, generally just weight training. You know, weight training. I do a bit of mountain biking, just leisurely walking, and that's the height of it. You know, in regards to training, I would just change up training systems all the time. So, you know, at the minute I'm using some supersets and things, which is just 2 exercises back to back. But it's just general weights training, and you know, just doing what I enjoy.
Yeah. I've enjoyed this, and I know, Ian, when you're adding this, it might be funny if you need some of these bits in, but it might not go well for us. And you know what the best thing is? People are going to be sitting and listening to this, right? If they're not watching it, but if they're watching it, they're going to be like, what the fuck is the on talking about nutrition for? What would he know about nutrition? But it's been great to have you up on, Ryan, and I've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to some of your challenges. We're gonna put some of the stuff up about what you're doing and the links in.
That's good.
If people want to link in with you, Ryan, and discuss online training and stuff like that, we'll include their details. But you're open to taking clients, and you're
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, look, listen, we're going to get Aidan to include them in, but it's been good crack, and I've enjoyed it. Sean might have some more questions for you.
No, you just need to get back at the training.
I know you
That's it. Need to get back to it.
Fat shaming me over here. We're such a woke society. You can't say anything about it anyway. But Ryan, thank you very much.
No
It's
problem.
been enjoyable.
It's great to be here.
Cheers, Ryan.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Cheers.